She cheated on me, and I never confronted her. I simply disappeared.
She left on a Friday morning with a suitcase and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. She said it was another professional seminar, one of those weekend retreats meant to sharpen the mind and recharge the spirit. I kissed her goodbye, waved as she drove away, and watched the street empty out. Something inside me already knew this wasn't just another weekend. I didn't confront her when I found the truth. There was no explosion, no accusation, no desperate plea for honesty. The proof sat quietly on my laptop screen, that same evening messages, photos, and plans written with careless confidence. She wasn't learning anything at those seminars. She was unlearning us. I closed the laptop and sat in the dark living room until midnight, listening to the house settle around me. 20 years of marriage echoed in every sound. I expected rage, but what I felt instead was clarity, the kind that arrives when denial finally gets tired. By morning, I was gone. I didn't leave a letter. I didn't take revenge. I didn't drain accounts or smash memories. I packed only what truly mattered: documents, clothes, a few photos I couldn't replace. Everything else stayed exactly where it was. The house, the furniture, the life we built together, I left it all behind. Not as punishment, but as a clean ending. When she came home Sunday evening, she walked into silence. No car in the driveway, no lights on, no voice answering when she called my name. At first, she probably thought I was being dramatic, maybe staying with a friend, trying to scare her. Then she opened the closet and saw the empty space where my clothes used to hang. Panic came slowly, then all at once. She called, she texted. She reached out to friends and family. No one knew where I was because I hadn't told anyone. I didn't disappear to hurt her. I disappeared because I refused to beg for honesty from someone who had already chosen deception. The divorce papers arrived a week later, clean, simple, final. She signed them in disbelief, still convinced she could fix things if she could just get me to talk. But there was nothing left to discuss. The marriage had ended the moment loyalty became optional. I rebuilt my life quietly. New city. Smaller place, fewer expectations. I learned how peaceful life can be when you stop negotiating your self-respect. I worked, exercised, and I slept deeply for the first time in years. I didn't date for a long time. I needed to remember who I was without being someone's safety net. Years passed. I was 3 years into my new life when I saw her again. It was an ordinary afternoon at a cafe near my office. I was reading emails, half listening to the noise around me when the air shifted. You feel it before you see it. I looked up, and there she was, standing frozen near the door like she'd stepped into the wrong version of her own life. She looked different, thinner, older, less certain. The confidence she once wore so easily had been replaced by something fragile and exposed. Our eyes met, and in that moment, everything she'd rehearsed disappeared. She walked toward me slowly, as if afraid I might vanish again. "I've been looking for you," she said, her voice trembling, "for years." I nodded, not out of acknowledgement, but closure. I know. She sat down without asking. Her hands shook as she spoke. She told me about regret, about mistakes, about how she ruined everything for something that didn't last. She told me she hated herself for it, that she thought about me every day, that losing me was the worst thing that ever happened to her. People around us pretended not to listen. No one ever fools anyone in moments like that. "I just need you to say something," she whispered. "Anything." I looked at her for a long moment, searching for anger and finding none. I didn't feel superior. I didn't feel satisfied. I felt finished. "You already made your choice," I said calmly. "I just respected it." Her eyes filled with tears. She asked if there was any chance. Any version of the future where we could talk, reconnect, rebuild. She said she was different now, wiser, honest. I shook my head. Change doesn't erase consequences. That's when she broke. Not loudly, not dramatically. She just folded inward, like someone finally realizing the door they slammed years ago was locked from the other side. I stood up, left money on the table, and wished her well, not as an act of kindness, but because I genuinely meant it. Carrying resentment would only chain me to a past I worked too hard to escape. As I walked out, I felt lighter than I had in decades. Later that night, I thought about how quietly everything had ended. No screaming, no revenge. No closure conversation scripted for drama. Just a man who chose to leave instead of shrinking himself to stay. Some people think forgiveness means letting someone back into your life. Sometimes it just means letting them stay in your past. And that, finally, was enough. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories.